Hello, CGP Grey, and greetings to your viewers. First, I must say that I enjoy your videos and have learned a lot from them. My name is Wesley, and I would like to respond to your presentation entitled The Trouble with the Electoral College. As your video points out, the Electoral College sometimes does lead to results which appear to be undemocratic. While some of your criticisms are valid, you did present 2 points which I believe are worth expanding on, and I will also provide a solution to the issue at hand. First, in a two-step process, you calculate the number of Electoral College votes a state ought to have if they were distributed in a more equitable fashion which more accurately reflects the state's population. In step 1, you divide the population of the United States, 309 million, by the number of Electoral College votes, 538, to get the number of people who should be represented by one electoral vote, which comes to 574,000. In step 2, you divide the number of people residing in a state by the aforementioned result to get the number of Electoral College votes a state should have. Seems fair enough, but you appear to treat 538 electoral votes as though it were a number which comes out of thin air, which is not the case. In your previous video, How the Electoral College Works, you yourself mentioned that the number of electors is the sum of the membership of the House of Representatives, 435, plus the number of senators, 100. Each state gets 2 votes by virtue of them having 2 senators, and the rest of the votes are determined by the number of representatives in each state. In my home state of Georgia, for example, there are 13 representatives, each representing a district, which is roughly proportional to Georgia's share of the population. Add our 2 senators, and Georgia has 15 Electoral College votes. Repeat this process throughout the country, and this adds up to 535. The remaining 3 Electoral College votes are entitled to the District of Columbia under provisions of the 23rd Amendment, which is equal to the number of representatives and senators it would have if it were a state. So perhaps the unfairness in the number of Electoral College votes each state receives is a function of the fact that the House of Representatives has limited its membership to 435 since 1911, meaning that the representatives shift around the nation according to the population distribution. But each state is entitled to at least 1 representative, so this does create a little unfairness in the size of the congressional delegations and subsequently in the Electoral College. In this case, the House membership limit, not the Electoral College, is the problem. The other thing you said which caught my attention was when you said, quote, "This is not democracy, this is indefensible," unquote. You're right. We are not a democracy. We are a federal republic. The framers of the Constitution were clear in their intent to not create a democracy. Nowhere in the Constitution do you see the word democracy. Instead, they created a republic based on the values of federalism, which is the power sharing between the states and the federal government, and pluralism, which is more or less the equalization of political power and resources so that no one person or group can dominate the political landscape by popular passions and excesses. The Electoral College preserves the values of federalism and pluralism, and as such ought to be reformed, not abolished. As it is right now, all but 2 states award all of their Electoral College votes based on the winner of the statewide popular vote, no matter how wide or thin the margin. Since states do decide how their Electoral College votes are determined, the best way for reform would be for each state to follow the district system of Nebraska and Maine, which was proposed by Curtis Gans, director of the Committee for the Study of the American Electorate, in a 2001 article in Congressional Digest following the mess of the 2000 election. Under this system, the winner of the statewide popular vote will be awarded 2 electoral votes, which represents the Senate delegation, while the remaining votes will be selected based on the popular vote of each congressional district. This system would not only be fairer, since it would more accurately reflect the will of the people in a particular state, but it would also encourage presidential candidates to spend time and money in states where they may well lose the statewide popular vote, but could potentially carry districts which either vote heavily for their party or districts which tend to swing either way in November. Again, let's take my home state of Georgia as an example, shall we? In the 2008 election, Senator John McCain, the Republican candidate, won the statewide vote 52.2% to 47% and won all of Georgia's 15 Electoral College votes. Under the district system, Senator McCain would have won 10 electoral votes by virtue of him winning 8 of the state's 13 districts, including 1 district held by a Democrat, as well as the statewide popular vote. Then Senator Barack Obama, the Democratic candidate, carried 5 Georgia districts, all of them represented by Democrats, and subsequently would have won 5 electoral votes from the state. Even though such a system would not guarantee that the electoral vote will always mirror the popular vote, it would at least go a long way in preventing candidates from avoiding entire states and regions whose needs and concerns are ignored by them as well as by the national media, in the pursuit of the winner-take-all red state, blue state mentality which the current system perpetuates. It may also encourage more electoral participation, since more people would feel that their vote actually matters. Above all, it would preserve the values of federalism and pluralism. The alternative would be to ratify a new constitutional amendment to abolish the Electoral College, and everyone knows how difficult that would be. Instead, reforming the current system is the better way forward. Thank you for listening.